Also, wir fangen an mit der heutigen Sitzung. 28. April 2020, Projektmanagement, und heute geht es um sogenannte Agile Projektmanagement. So we talk about Agile project management and one methodology that is special for Agile, which is called Scrum. Okay. So this is a method that is used geared toward continuous improvement. This Agile methodology can greatly increase your project prospects for success. Okay, so we aim to increase our success rate in the project management, fueled through continuous improvement. Continuous improvement, or as we have talked before, Kaizen. This is another philosophy that we will talk about probably in the next weeks as well. But Agile is specific for project management. It was developed in software development, or in software project management, software development, project management, and we will deal with it in a minute. So what is Agile? What is Agile? Agile is a project management I write it so that it's easier for you, methodology that uses short development cycles called sprints to focus on continuous improvement in the project or service or product. So here there are a few words that are important. Short development cycles called sprints that focus the continuous improvement in the project, product, or service that is delivered. Okay, so this is a definition. Something like a initial definition. Although incremental software development methods go as far back as 1957, Agile was first discussed in depth by William Royce, okay, who is published a paper on the development of large software systems. Later in 2001, you can look it up. 2001, the Agile Manifesto. You can Google it and read about it. It's a formal proclamation of 4 key values and 12 principles to guide an iterative and people-centric approach. Yeah, but basically, I'm going to give you the guidelines so you can you can follow what I tell you. So the principles of Agile can be summarized. Let me put it pretty, maybe red here now. So like this. The principles of Agile, which are 12 key principles. Of Agile project management are: first, and make sure you know them because I will ask you to list them eventually. Customer satisfaction. Is always the highest priority and is achieved through rapid and continuous delivery. Basically, never make your customer wait. Your customer should never wait for an answer for a product or for a service. This is the first principle. You can summarize it with a smiley. Make your customer happy. Maybe with the pictures you can remember it better. I paint the customer with a heart because you remember our customer has a tag time, okay? Tag time. This concept of tag time is important. So this is principle number one. Any questions, please? Questions? Good. So second principle is changing, or let me put it like this. It's called flexibility. Okay. Changing environments or conditions are welcome and embraced at any stage of the process, product, or service to provide the customer with a competitive advantage. So we are always happy to accept changes in the conditions, because if they provide our customer with a competitive advantage. Our pictogram about this is that changing the map, changing environment, sunny, cloudy, it doesn't matter, we are always ready to deliver. We can always deliver, okay? We are always able to adapt. Okay. And always to maximize value for the customer. Remember, the customer is heart. Any questions? What is tag time again? Well, Lucas, you can Google, okay? Tag time is tag time. Tag time is something that we've seen before. Tag time is very basic concept. You can Google it. It belongs to the third semester. It's basically the time that your customer gives you to deliver the product. Okay. If you Google it very fast, tag time, Wikipedia, I get this answer. I put it in the chat, okay. All right. So we cool? Okay, third is quite easy. A product or service is delivered with high frequency of delivery. Frequency of delivery, you remember we looked into one KPI called every part, every interval in our past lecture. Every part, every interval. Okay, this is related. So here we want to deliver a product or service with is delivered with high frequency. You remember, maybe if you don't remember, you can look it up. That if we have an EPI of 1 week, and we can calculate this, we can produce all our products in 1 week's time. And if something happens on Wednesday, then all the products after Wednesday will not be delivered. That's why we aim to have the shortest epi possible. The minimum epi is the takt time. Okay, so deliver with the customer needs. The highest flexibility possible. And everything in between, okay? Again, if you don't know any of these concepts, you can either Google it or you can look it up into the videos of the previous semesters. Number 4, stakeholders. Stakeholder is anyone in business. Stakeholders and project members. Collaborate closely on a daily basis. This means you create, guess what? You create networks. You create clusters and you create all the stuff that we've been looking at with the clustering coefficient and organizational design configurations, the one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional, and all the stuff that we've been looking at. Okay, so you create, basically you create networks of people, stakeholders, business partners, suppliers, project members, all sorts of people aiming to create a very tight cluster and network on a daily basis. Okay, so here is, you have here complex networks with all the dynamics that we've been looking at in the past weeks. Any questions? So you can measure all this. You can have different colors for different roles, and we will look into that in a minute. What different roles we have here in Agile. Okay. So number 5. Is that all stakeholders and team members remain motivated for optimal project outcomes, while teams are provided with all the necessary tools and support and are trusted to accomplish project goals. So all stakeholders and team members base their work on trustworthiness, trust, and empowerment. To achieve their goals in alignment. You remember, we've seen this in the first or second class of this semester. All stakeholders and team members remain motivated for optimal project outcome, while teams are provided with all the necessary tools and support are trusted to accomplish project goals. The drawing for this, or the concept, or the, let's say, the avatar for this, you can find in the previous lectures. You remember we saw the individual level with trustworthiness, the relational level with trust, the empowerment level, the managerial level with empowerment, and the organizational level with alignment. Okay. Probably remember if you look into the first or second lecture. The sixth principle is that face-to-face is better than telephone, which is better than email. So this is about communication. Face-to-face meetings are deemed the most efficient and effective format for success. So this is something that you should know whenever you're in a project, whenever you're working. Never write emails. Okay, do not. I mean, if you can avoid to write emails, avoid it right away. Okay, stop writing emails. Go to talk to people. If you cannot talk to them in person, call them on the phone, but don't write an email. Ich wiederhole es auf Deutsch, weil es sehr wichtig ist. Wenn ihr Projekte macht oder wenn ihr bei der Arbeit, schreibe keine E-Mails. E-Mails verboten oder nur die letzte Gelegenheit. Hör auf mit dem scheiß E-Mail-Flut. Okay? Wenn ihr nicht mit jemand sprechen könnt, live, also face-to-face, ruf an. Wenn es nicht geht, warte lieber. E-Mails um irgendwelche Vorwürfe und werden immer missverstanden. Okay? Und für ein nicht zu Vertrauensaufbau, für ein nicht zu vertrauenswürdiges Verhalten, für ein nicht zu Befähigung, für ein zu gar nichts. Also, so. Face-to-face, communication. Okay. Besser als Telefon. Besser als E-Mail. Ich hoffe, es ist angekommen. Vergesse es nicht. Es kann euch sehr viel Kraft kosten, wenn ihr einmal das verkackt habt per E-Mail, das wieder dieses Vertrauen wieder zurückzubauen. Okay? Vergesse das nicht, bitte. Es ist nicht gut, es ist nicht vertrauensbildend, es ist einfach, weil E-Mail wird immer missverstanden. Hm? Okay, Fragen soweit? Okay, dann machen wir eine kurze Pause und in 5 Minuten schicke ich euch wieder eine Einladung. Bis gleich. Okay, so we continue with number 7. Number 7 is that a final working product is the ultimate measure of success. Okay, so success, SUCCESS, means the product works for the customer. Okay, so a final working product is the measure for success. So once you hit your goal of creating something that the customer can use and can make money with. Okay. Basically, classic project management means achieving a goal that is fixed. Okay. And agile project management means that your goal is moving. So you have a moving target and you want to hit something that is moving around in the air. And then first you go and target your rocket to that goal in T1. After a while, you must adjust your direction and target your rocket to in T2 to another direction. And after a while, you must readjust your direction. And so you're constantly adjusting your direction until you hit the goal. This is basically the idea. At first, you have this direction, then you have this direction, then you have this direction again. Basically, you're constantly changing your direction, while in the classic project management, you only have one direction. And you only achieve success until you hit your goal here, until you achieve and you hit your goal. Number 8 is sustainability, sustainable development is accomplished through agile processes whereby development teams and stakeholders are able to maintain a constant and ongoing pace. This is very important, constant and ongoing pace. In case you don't do this, you don't respect this principle, you will burn your people. If you burn your people, forget about trust, forget about trustworthiness, forget about empowerment, and forget about achieving your goals. Okay? So you need agility, but with constant speed. So the first derivative of x is constant. Meaning the second derivative is 0. No acceleration. Ongoing pace is ongoing speed, constant speed. Wir fahren auf eine konstante Geschwindigkeit. Okay, also wir fahren das Projekt von vorne bis hinten konstant, damit unsere Leute nicht verbrannt werden. Wenn du zu schnell gehst oder zu langsam oder manchmal langsam, manchmal schnell, dann verbrauchst du erstens mehr Stoff und mehr Sprit und machst die Leute kaputt. Okay, weil die Leute nicht wissen, ob sie schnell oder langsam fahren müssen. Warte mal. Lukas, du bist jetzt online. Melde dich nachher, wenn du nicht die Geschichte mit der Takt-Time verstehst. Melde dich nachher nochmal per WhatsApp, okay? Da können wir FaceTime machen. Und das gilt für alle, okay? Ihr könnt euch jederzeit melden. Bitte um Verständnis, ich muss jetzt so ein bisschen weiterkommen mit dem Inhalt. Deshalb kann ich nicht Dinge erklären, die ich schon geklärt habe. Aber wenn jemand Fragen hat zu Inhalten, die wir vorher gesehen haben, einfach eine Meldung in WhatsApp und wir können gerne das klären, okay? Es ist nicht so, dass ich euch blocken will oder so. Ich muss einfach mit dem Stoff weiterkommen. Okay, so Nummer 9. Nummer 9 ist, warte mal, ich mache es hübsch. Nummer 9 ist, wir brauchen Focus on Excellence. And design. This means, what is excellence? Excellence is your next 5 minutes. So it is necessary that you are constantly being excellent. Your next email, your next conversation with your worker, your next meeting, your next 5 minutes will determine your excellence. Auf Deutsch, die nächsten 5 Minuten, wenn ihr Führungskräfte seid in 2, 3, 4, 5 Jahren, die nächsten 5 Minuten entscheiden, wie ihr von der Organisation gesehen werdet. Ihr müsst konstant wach bleiben. Wenn ihr die Konzentration einmal verliert, einmal ausrastet, macht ihr jahrelange Anstrengungen einfach kaputt. Exzellenz sind die nächsten 5 Minuten. Okay? Und das ist sehr, sehr schwierig, wenn ihr ständig unter Strom steht. Keiner hat Verständnis dafür, weil ihr seid die Chefs, okay? Oder die Projektmanagers. Keiner hat Verständnis dafür, dass ihr die Kontrolle verliert. Ihr seid verantwortlich, ihr müsst unter Kontrolle bleiben. Wer keine Selbstkontrolle hat, kann nicht Führungskraft werden. Ist es angekommen? Selbstkontrolle, A und O, alles. Wer sich nicht kontrollieren kann, wer sich nicht im Griff hat, kann nicht Führungskraft werden. Und es ist besser, dass dieser Mensch nicht eine Führungskraft wird, weil der wird viel kaputt machen. Es ist angekommen. Das ist super wichtig. Okay? Exzellenz in die nächsten 5 Minuten. Alles andere ist Bullshit. Ihr könnt hunderte von Trainingsbesuchern über Leadership und sonst ein Scheiß. Okay? Aber das ist die beste Definition. Die nächsten 5 Minuten. Ihr werdet gemessen an den nächsten 5 Minuten. Alles andere ist egal. Okay? Ihr dürft euch nichts erlauben. Dass das Design auch wichtig ist, ich habe es einfach nur addiert, weil ich denke, dass wenn es pretty ist, so I think when it looks pretty, people tend to do things better. So that's why I try to do anything I do, I try to make it look pretty. Okay, at least pretty in my eyes. If it looks pretty, then people will like it and will be happy to do it. Okay, so the next 5 minutes, and that's your time window, plus pretty looking. Okay, make it look pretty, or at least as pretty as you can. So number 10, simplicity, or in other words, keep it simple, sister. Okay, keep it simple, sister. I make 2 pretty lips. Zum Knutschen. Okay. Ihr müsst nicht eure Mitarbeiter mögen, ihr müsst aber alle eure Mitarbeiter lieben. Wenn ihr eure Mitarbeiter nicht liebt, dann habt ihr ein Problem. Ihr müsst sie nicht mögen, aber ihr müsst sie lieben. Weil ihr habt eine Verantwortung und eine Sorgeverantwortung für eure Mitarbeiter. Und wer diese Sorge nicht trägt, kann nicht Führungskraft werden. Keep it simple, sister. Number 11, self-organizing teams are most likely to develop the best architectures. So the principle of self-organization. Self-organizing networks. We have already delivered the best results. We know that already because we have seen the average path length of real networks. okay? And we know that they deliver better than other networks. That's why we want low average path length and high clustering coefficient. We know that already with math, okay? We don't know it because we have explained it like soft shit. We know this with mathematics, okay? And this is important later on in your future. And number 12, and we finish with this, is that regular intervals are used by teams to improve efficiency. This is what is called shop floor management. And we will look at this next week. Regular frequency, regular intervals are used by teams to increase efficiency, meeting every week, meeting every day, meeting every month, and so on and so forth. Okay, this is called shop floor management, and we will talk about this next week. Okay, today in a week. Any questions? Good. Well, then later on at 5:30, I think we meet again, and we continue with our lecture. Lucas, if you want to contact me on WhatsApp, I'm online. Okay. We can talk about your topic. See you at 5:30. Bye. So we can continue with a way to implement Agile. This is a tool, okay, a project management tool, an Agile project management tool, which is called Scrum. Okay, you will hear this probably in the future a couple times. A Scrum comes from rugby, okay, from sport, and it's a cluster of players, all interconnected, trying to get the ball. So they are all focused on the ball. Okay, this is a Scrum. The ball, of course, this is just a figurative. The ball is the project goal, and the Scrum of players are trying to get the ball and achieve the goal. Okay, so what is Scrum, and why is for Agile, why is so important? It's the most popular Agile framework in use today, and basically it's used in project management, and it uses a very well-defined framework, which is basically based on 4 or 5 concepts that we're going to talk about. Okay, the first concept is the project backlog. Project, and I'm going to paint a little picture so that you get an idea. A project backlog is a bunch of tasks that are still to be realized. Project backlog. You can represent it like I just did, okay? Or you can also represent it as we have been doing it before with our Gantt diagram. Okay, this has the advantage that we have our timeline. Okay, it's basically the same. It's just an enumeration of the activities that are to be done. Okay, we have the backlog and we work on it. This team that we painted before, okay, is working on it. This team is working on it. Is working on the backlog of activities all the time, and they are interconnected and interchanging information and doing all sorts of things together. The next concept is called the sprint backlog. Okay, sprint backlog. I'm going to paint it in a different color. Sprint backlog. These are the activities that are bottlenecks. Let me paint it differently so that you have a better idea. Wait, I don't like it. So once you have the backlog, okay? The project backlog is a bunch of activities that are ordered in time. You can have then the sprint backlog, which is an ordered, it's sort of a chain of thought of activities that need to be done next. Okay, sprint backlog. In our thinking, in our previous thinking, are those activities that have a delay, okay, that need to be done next, where we have what we called a back spike. You remember from previous lectures. Once we have the backlog, we start a so-called iteration. And I'm going to try to paint it pretty. We start a so-called iteration. No, I don't like it. Huh? Something up there. Okay, and this is called the iteration loop. The iteration loop, and it's called sprint. It takes 2 to 4 weeks. And it's actually what the people in the project are working on, okay? So these are the activities that the people in the project are working on. They're spending their time basically on this sprint loop all the time. They're focusing on the important and most pressing stuff all the time. And they have a daily, what it's called, daily stand-up meeting. Okay. So we have the backlog. the project backlog, the activities that are ordered in a project plan. We have the sprint backlog, those activities that are in delay or are most urgent. And then we have the iteration loop or sprint, things that we are working on right now, okay? And we are focusing on them through our daily stand-up or shop floor management. As I said, we will talk about this next week in detail. Okay? So once we have done this and we have worked on the stuff that is that needs to be done, we have delivered our activities and they are not in delay anymore. And that's why they are now green, okay? So always remember, this is time. And now we have our shippable products. Whatever it is, a software or something like this, okay? No, I don't like it, wait. So better. Okay, so this is our Scrum framework. Any questions? Any questions, anybody? Okay. So just for you to know, there are some roles that you need to know. Roles in Scrum. And I will just highlight them. I am not going to talk about them in detail. The first role is the product owner. The product owner is the one in charge of the business side of the project. In charge of the business side of the project. She or he is the person to be held accountable when processes do not follow the right order, being a primary stakeholder in the project. It is the product owner's responsibility to have a vision for what he or she hopes to see. The ability to communicate that vision to the entire team also falls squarely on his shoulders. This is an important step in the commencement of agile software development or any sort of project development, and is usually done through the product backlog. Product backlog, project backlog. The product backlog or project backlog is a list usually arranged in order of priority of things needed to be done during the lifespan of the project, okay? So number 2, we have the Scrum Master. It's responsible for ensuring each member of the team understands Scrum. So he's responsible for empowerment. He or she acts as a teacher and coach, verifying certain team members adhere to the theory and practices of Scrum. He or she leads by example, wearing the cloak of patience while paying attention to every aspect of the project. Okay. He's a process facilitator, helps build self-organizing teams, remove impediments, escalates when needed, helps team inspect and adapt process, empowers the team through servant leadership, protects the team from disturbances. And third is the Scrum team. The main work within the Scrum framework is carried out by the dedicated Scrum team. So they're in charge of the project implementation. This group of individuals work together to develop and deliver the product, okay? So ideally, it is a small cross-functional team consisting of about 6 people. 6 people plus minus 3, okay? So it can be 3 or it can be 9. Ideally, it is a small cross-functional team, including business analysts, product testers, and developers. Just to name a few examples, okay? So they're professionals, self-organizing, cross-functional, interfaces with the PO, with the product owner, and 6 plus minus 3 members. Okay? So this is about Scrum. And this is basically about it. What I wanted to tell you, all the information is going to be uploaded on profh4.com. Please make sure that you give feedback on the YouTube channel, and for other university members and school members to benefit from your feedback. If you have any questions, you can contact me anytime on WhatsApp and or any other medium, but I prefer WhatsApp, it's faster. And yeah, you find all the information online, and I'll send you the PDF in a couple minutes, okay? Enjoy the week and be safe. Stay healthy. Bye. And Radoslav, call me, please.